I'm back for my March craft recap slash creative diary. It's been a busy month. I traveled during the month and my dance studio was closed for a week, but I was still able to craft and cook and write. So I'm really excited to show you everything I did this month. So starting with sewing projects, I was able to finish my overalls this month. As a reminder, last month I worked on a mock-up of this pattern that I have, and this is how those mock-up overalls turned out. The mock-up was so necessary. It turned out that this pattern was missing some steps and in general was not the clearest. So I had to do the mock-up and figure some things out through trial and error. But while I was doing the mock-up, I took notes and then I referenced those notes as I was doing this final version so that it could turn out better, and those notes ended up being really helpful. This is the final version and I love it. I purposely chose a cotton fabric with a stripe pattern because I loved this diagonal panel across the middle, and the shape of the stripes was just so pretty in the middle of the overalls. I also just really loved that the stripes on this fabric were this daisy flower pattern. I think it's really cute. It's perfect for summer and spring. I, of course, still made some mistakes even in this final version. For example, on this armhole, I did the opposite of what I was supposed to when sewing the bias tape for the binding. Compared to the other armhole, this one just looks a little messy. What I wish I had done was seam rip this binding and re-sewn it before moving on to the rest of the pattern, but at the time I thought that, oh, this is fine. There are also some little things like wonky seams and untidy buttonholes that I wish looked better, and honestly what I needed to do was just slow down on some of those things and be a little more careful when sewing those aspects of it. But this series is about accepting and finding beauty in imperfections. So I want to be clear, I'm really proud of how these turned out. There are a lot of things that I got better at in between the mock-up and the final version. Check out the gathering on the waistband and the fit of these straps. I think they're much better than the fit of the straps on the mock-up. And check out the pockets. I think they're much neater in this final version. I do plan on wearing these overalls out and about, and in fact, because I film these videos a little bit into like the next month, I have already worn these out and about and have gotten compliments on them, and something I was really excited for and ended up happening was getting my first compliment of like, oh, those overalls are really cute, and then I get to say, thanks, I made them myself. Okay, next up, I'm
tired of this, Grandpa.
Next up, I cooked a bunch this month. All of the meals were new, which was really fun. I ended up making chicken dumpling soup, Mediterranean chicken and rice, mushroom and orzo pasta, and Tuscan chicken. This month I found that I was really busy and I needed meals that came together rather quickly. So a majority of these meals were one pot recipes or could all be done in like one skillet. I think the Tuscan chicken or the chicken dumpling soup was my favorite meal this month. The dumpling soup was really good because it was really herbaceous, just lots of herbs, and it was still kind of cold at the start of the month when I made this, so it was just like really cozy. But the Tuscan chicken was so good, and that had sun-dried tomatoes in it, which I really love. Okay, next up is dance. This month I took 18 classes, which is a dip from the previous month, but in my defense, I traveled for a weekend in March and the studio was closed for an entire week as they were doing a performance. So even though I only took 18 classes, I still feel like I made a lot of progress in this time. I feel stronger, and then more specifically, I feel like I am getting better at handstands, at least progressing with my mental blocks, my fear. So specifically, I took a handstand class and I was able to hold a stag pose, which if you don't know what that is, imagine just a handstand straight up and down. A stag pose is where your legs are bent kind of in this shape. um, it was terrifying. I was really scared of falling backwards and as always just scared of hurting myself with falling. Quite literally, the teacher had me take deep breaths in this pose. She said, like, breathe in, breathe out. You're gonna do that 3 times. And then she helped me fall out of it, like held me, tipped me over kind of a thing. And even in that, I was like, no, I'll just go back the other way. um, but I think because I made some progress, so like was able to hold a pose and with assistance was able to fall out, I feel more confident in some ways. So I want to take more classes. I think I want to take like handstand classes once a week, which would be really cool. And also, I'm just really grateful for teachers like this, people who like can be encouraging and helpful and work with a student through fear. It makes it so much easier to motivate myself to go to a class, and it's just really helpful. They're amazing. I love them. Okay, finally, I did post another fanfic chapter this month. And I got the fan art that I mentioned in my last video. The art is amazing. It is so well done. It's such a cool style. The artist did a really cool rendition of a scene from like one of my early chapters, and I was geeking out about the female and male leads and how they drew them. And they just did like such a cool job of capturing all of the details. Like they got different lighting aspects of this scene in the image. Like there's a laptop in this scene and they got like the glow from the laptop onto the character's face, and it was just so cool. Also, I'm so lucky because this same artist sent me another fan art from a different scene in a more recent chapter that I posted. So now I'm up by 2 pieces of fan art. And I've gotten to repost both of them on my Tumblr and link them into my actual fanfic, and it's just really fun to see all of the people who are enjoying the story and then see them over on Tumblr enjoying like the art as well, and it just feels like a sweet little community of, you know, fans enjoying what we do. I did want to mention that this most recent chapter that I posted, it ended up being 11,212 words. By comparison, the previous chapter that I wrote was like under 7,000 words. It's so cool that I was able to write so much in about a month, like a shorter time. What's interesting though is after I posted this most recent chapter, uh, there was like kind of a resolution in the narrative. Not like a total resolution, but a big enough one that there was a part of me that was like, oh, could I just like end this here? I don't want to, and I'm gonna write more. Um, but for the most part, when I have written these chapters, I don't have like a clear plan on what I'm gonna write next, but I usually have like an idea, and so I kind of know where things are going. This is like the first chapter where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to tie in like the final loose threads in like a more distinct way, or I'm gonna have to like think about this a little more deeply than I usually do. It's not just like coming to me intuitively. So not a bad thing, but just interesting. Thought I would mention it. Okay, thanks for watching my March crafting recap. I'm gonna say this again. It might become the little sign-off phrase for this. You are so cool, you are so talented, and you are so hardworking. Okay, love you. Bye.